over the moon, which is a sun that's rising up to rule, um, as the daughter wasn't fit.
Mm.
It's a physics formula for a certain time of the year.
Wow.
This is when Libra is placed between Virgo and Scorpio to separate the zodiac signs because the enmity was put between the sun and his seed and her seed, the Scorpio and the Virgin or the Virgo. Virgo being represented by Venus, and Venus is the bright morning star, not the other star, which is Mercury, that comes on the heels of Venus. So the sun follows the mother over the horizon. This is Horus rising,
Mm.
right? So this is talking about the physics formula for the solar rays and the lunar rays effect on your awakening being told in the story of the elixir, because the physiological function, as within so without, as above so below.
Mm. Mm. Definitely. So, Rod, that led me to a question.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I'm not too off, but when we're talking about the moon, wasn't there a time when it wasn't here?
Yeah.
Because I keep seeing it tied into the female or our body or our stories or our information.
The
How
story
is it?
the story of them placing the moon there is when it say in Genesis that the woman will traverse in labor, right?
Mhm.
That's because they put something there to control her cycle, to take the control away from her by artificial means.
Damn.
This is the death of Lilith because the moon of Saturn is Lilith. And that's the energy that the women was synced at, where they was controlling when they gave birth and when they used their cycle and when they didn't come on the cycle.
And
So
this
they put the battleship up there called the moon, and they synced it to the Dark Knight satellite for the holographic projection and to change the women. It took the women thousands of years to learn how to use the moon magic, what we call the silver key or oracle magic. But when they figured it out, Big Mama said, "Okay, let's go."
right
Damn.
what you just said, and we now I had no freaking idea about what the gem that the brother just dropped right now.
Mm.
But if you look at what was previously mentioned in the other two parts in regards about the gift, the gametry intrafallopian tube transfer, which is what women do to allow some another woman to give birth, it coincides with the moon being built up there. Like I've heard of the whole the moon wasn't up there before, but not a breakdown like that. That was I'm gonna have to agree with Nathaniel and just say talk your shit. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
I
And
want to add to that.
Go ahead, sis. Break it down for us.
Okay, now you know we got these cycles for every 28 days, right?
Facts.
Okay, so you got the women on the cycle for 28 days for their menstruals, right?
yes.
Every if you're a meat, cheese, and sugar eater, you on a cycle to have a cold every 28 days, right?
Mhm.
About that time, your kids about give up the mucus because that's their natural immunity system. They have to fight back. So they need that whole month to fight back, and then they're going to go through that 2 week drainage period like a woman would on her menstruals, right?
Yes.
So this is the time when your immunity is kicking in for you to do other shit, but we can't see it because we still on those cycles. Remember the last show you had, Taj, and you was like the sun and the moon, and I said I don't equate that as opposites. I felt that they were mechanisms put there for a reason.
Right.
Right, facts, and then the guy Rod just hit it right back on the nose. Exactly what I said before. Those are mechanisms put in place to control. We're out of we with this right now. With what we saying, we are falling out of their time. we're falling out of their frequency because their time is a fallacy. So we only got a few more times when we're going to keep going through these cycles of 28s because that other stuff about to fall out of play. You see what I'm saying? So in a minute, everybody about to do the big cleanse, the big cycle. Ain't going to be no 28 days like that. You going to be cleansing straight facts. And and some people might not understand what feeling they're going through. It might feel like anxiety, high anxiety a little bit. Because your mind is cleansing too. You ain't just cleansing the mucus and that, you cleansing everything. It's a whole time of cleanse. But we got to get off that moon cycle because that leads us back to their cycle. When you do the big cleanse, ain't no more. You off that timeline. That's done.
Yeah. So the women use the lunar cycles to ride the menstrual wave on a biorhythmic chart. When they sync together, they can control the cycle again, meaning that if they're not ready to bear a child, they don't see a reason to go through a menstrual cycle. So they turn it off. But when they realize, okay, I think I'm ready to have a baby, then she'll go through 3 menstrual cycles. The first 2 will be purging her system of impurities. But she won't ovulate in the first 2 cycles. She won't ovulate until the 3rd cycle because she already used the first 2 cycles to purge and clean the system.
That's
I had to take my hat off to you guys on that one.
yeah. I mean, it's so in depth, you know. It's like Sis said, you know, we're barely on the
We are-
third time, and we going in it like for real, for real. So
This is this is
this is
also
good, though.
a
This is
legal
good.
notice too.
Yes, this is how it should be done. We shouldn't be skipping over parts if there's some clarification that we can get out of anything. We should stop and listen to that. Today was the right day for Rod Hayes to be in the house because we always go deep, but now it's getting deeper. So I'm gonna read part 3 unless somebody else got something to say.
no, go ahead, Sis. Do your thing.
Okay, so 3 says the psychophysical germ or the fruit of the tree of life is born in the solar plexus or the manger. The psychophysical germ is born in the manger.
So this is the development of the fleshy portion of the cell. So when they talk about here, this is where your other brain is. This is your stomach. This is why fasting is required. Because once you can control this energy center that they pointing at right there, called your gut, then you can control your emotional body. Your emotional body, you need to be able to read your emotions instead of be overwhelmed by your emotions. It's your navigation system.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what they're talking about with that energy center in the development of it. It's still another formula. So we've seen 3 different formulas in 3 different parts of the descriptive analysis of this system of the colostrum.
Mm.
Right now we got other descriptions to come, and we don't even know what we finna run into. But it
Right?
must be good.
It's always good. Always. So number 4 says the ida or red, pingala or blue. Those are 2 nerve fluids where at the crossing of the medulla oblongata, the crucifixion takes place where it rests for 2.5 days.
You see, it said the Ida,
Yes.
and Ida means red,
Yes.
and Pregea means blue. When you look on the male, This is the separating of the male sperm from the female sperm produced in the testes. And it's also in the female, it is the regulator of the hormones through the endocrine system to balance out the seed that it is receiving when the woman is receptive to give birth. So these two things, either you're going to get a sperm from the father line or you're going to get a sperm from the mother line off the father line. And then the mother is going to say, okay, I'm going to accept this and bear this seed, or no, I'm not going to bear this seed, spontaneous abortion.
Damn.
Some of the women know based on the frequency of the fetus developing in their womb that they're going to be straight wicked. And she don't want to bring that wicked child into reality, so she spontaneously aborted.
Wow. And then others don't know how to do that.
Right. You're exactly right. But they were learning. That's what the Salem witch trials was about. Right? Because they came to learn how to control that, what we was just talking about, and to get their drop of blood.
I mean, you think Jeffrey Dahmer's mother knew how to do that?
He wasn't genetically determined. He was socially developed after the fact. But he had the propensity because they the descendants of the Donner Party who ate for survival and after plane crash.
Damn.
I seen that movie.
Mm-hmm. So that's where his name comes from. It's called a name variant.
Dahmer or Jeffrey?
Donner and Dahmer.
Damn. Wow.
Right. So he had it in him, but it was certain things in his social development as a child that never took place. For instance, his mother was never allowed to run the colostrum through his system in order to purge him of the impurities of his ancestral family curses that comes through his genetic anomalies.
So, Rod, clearly, we don't know thyself.
Yeah.
Clearly, we don't.
Not even close to it.
How the hell fuck can we learn all of this?
That's what that movie was about. Us. That's a whole colony genetically passed on criminality.
Shit.
Look at how those people were. It's a whole colony of passed on criminality, of clones.
Wow.
But they don't necessarily have to be a literal clone.
They don't have to be cloned. You could be what you're saying, the guy is true. These are people. Just in that movie, they just happen to be clones. But in reality, that criminality gets passed on genetically.
So that ancestor is strong. They got away with a lot of dirt.
I'm like Joe Beller.
If you have the character trait capable of embodying that strength, that crooked ancestor gonna try to get you to do their dirt. Mm-hmm. So you be facilitating that generational curse because you can't stand up to them and be like, man, I'm not finna go rob that old lady. What the fuck I look like robbing an old lady and taking her purse for a goddamn social security check? I want to know how to rob the Federal Reserve System for motherfuckers that's robbing our people. That's who I want to know how to rob. Now, all your ancestors that's about that drama on the right gonna make the bad ancestor bump straight in the spirit realm, and they gonna all be grateful that you didn't facilitate the perpetuation of that generational curse.
Those are facts. Those are facts, brother.
Can I get a semi answer to what me and Joe Beller is saying? Like, how the hell do we learn all of this about ourselves? Do we got to go to school?
No, you got to study yourself.
But you saw what happened.
Listen, I'm
We got to
looking
take
at
it slow.
these 5 things. These 5 things that's here. How is somebody gonna know this?
Okay, so your knowledge base, right, is going to facilitate your style of learning.
Okay.
All right, now most of this stuff you already know it, but you are not aware that you know it because it's not organized.
Hmm.
Right? You
Right.
walk past the lecture and in the library, and you was just out of earshot, and you heard every word they said.
Mm.
Right, but you was pre-absorbed with the studies you was doing in college. You had time to go in and sit in on the lecture, to be in the moment at the lecture, but your subconscious mind was at the lecture while you was studying for another exam.
Mm. Okay, so my subconscious own it already.
Hmm.
So all I gotta do is
Now,
get it from
these these descriptions we given is targeting key neurological links in the knowledge base you already have. You can only rise to your own level, but the goal is to rise to your level where most people quit and fall on their face.
shit. Let me wake up one day and be smart as hell.
But you already are. You have the knowledge of the universe encoded in your genetic makeup. That's what
Yeah.
we're going over. Now, all you have to do is remember who the fuck you is and own that shit and be who you are, the mother of civilization, owner, maker, queen of the motherfucking planet Earth, goddess of the universe, and go
Actually,
about your business. And when you need the information, you don't have to know it. Big Mama gonna send you to get the answer.
okay. All right. I like to think I was a shot in the last life or two. But
Yeah, you still have all of your knowledge from past
yeah.
lives. It just ain't been activated because you haven't learned certain key activation information.
Well,
But you still, when you moving on your in your rightful path, when you need a piece of information, Big Mama gonna send somebody to know exactly that what you need, and they might not know shit else.
mm, mm, mm. Okay, so I
But
only got
it'll be just enough to give you the understanding you need at that time. Goes back to when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
that's right. That's right. You ain't lying. So I got number 5 to go, and then we can move past the slide finally.
Go
So
ahead.
number 5 says the sacred oil returns after the crossing or the crucifixion. It enters the cerebellum or Golgotha, the place of the skull. The fluid or Christ is refined 1,000 fold.
Facts. 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 Facts.
So the 1,000-fold, where it say Christ refined, is the information capacity when you change the silver liquid for the gold liquid.
Mm,
Right? So what's happening at the medulla is there's a portion of the brain called the pons region.
mhm,
And in the pons region, there's a nerve ganglia called the reticular formation.
mhm.
It's here that your consciousness enters the body. It's also known as the black dot because it's heavily concentrated with melanin. And it's also referred to as the black mirror. Well,
Mm,
you can't see through the black mirror unless you have the gold elixir, the black and the gold, Big Mama colors. The
right.
gold elixir rushes over the nerve ganglia and it flips on the pineal gland, which is a light bulb on the inner side of the brain in the upper right hemisphere, where it absorbs the information coming in from Big Mama on something called an anterior gyrus. It's right here on your head. So that's called the opening of the crown chakra,
Mhm.
right? So it's giving you now, it went from giving you astro geology to giving you biology to giving you metaphysics, and now it's giving you the return of it all, what they call a resurrection.
Mm.
When the sacred elixir fills the four chambers of the brain left and right hemisphere have to be in sync because of the density of the gold liquid. It's called the sacred secretion.
Exactly.
And so Santa Claus is real. It's just not, actually, their little physical version is not too bad. What we're trying to point out here is like this Christmas have nothing to do with the occasion that it is today out in the real world. However, the story of it is real. And
Yeah, because the story of Christmas is the story of the winter solstice,
yes,
Facts.
right?
happens every
And
year.
now what they did was we mentioned earlier commerce tabs. So the same word colostrum is claws to rum, right? The rum was what they was trading with the islanders.
Mm.
The clause is the L clause, which is the 7 clause on the flip. So the cause of the contract on the cross, the T square, is the condition created by the rum called drunkenness.
Mm.
They call this the intoxication of saints or the madness of magicians, right?
Hence the
Yeah,
12 days of
yeah,
divine drinking and the
that's what I was gonna say.
wine. It's just the brothers
Oh,
going, yeah, he just, yeah. Go ahead,
So
sis.
the black and gold colors, those vice lord colors.
mm.
So if you have a vice that you haven't mastered, you can't raise your sacred secretion. Once you can master your vices and you can overcome your 7 deadly sins, right? Then that's when you can raise your sacred secretion, black and gold, into Big Mama house, the upper queen's chamber, the queen mother seat. And the queen mother is the mother to the king. It's all about the awakening, but it's put in descriptive fairy tale terms.
Mm.
So we come to take them from the law, which is a fraud, into grace. Grace is gratitude on a universal level, but
Mm.
it's also a noble character, right? So the noble character comes from mastering your noble self, becoming what you aspire to be at your highest peak, Phoenix rising.
Okay, so are you saying that we don't necessarily have to go to the books for this information? We can go
No,
within.
everything in them books is already in you.
True that.
The books is the training wheels to bend your mind so it can't go back to where it was before you read the book. So now you got to fill it up with something to connect it to the truth that you already know.
Mm-hmm.
They call that the purification of the ego, and it requires certain disciplines.
Facts,
Wow.
facts. I want to encourage the family to please share the live. We appreciate y'all for being here. We just hit the hour mark. Just so you know, brother, that we still got a lot to go. I got nothing but time. But at any time, if you do, I'm not sure how much of your time is available. But we will be going probably for about maybe 2.5 hours. The show usually goes about 2-3 hours. So at any given time, if you need a break,
Don't be lying, Taz.
And
please.
do you have a cash app?
Who?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
You got a Cash App, Rod?
yeah.
Put
Hold
it
on.
on
Here,
there.
I'm gonna
Let's make
type
it
it in the
last some more
comments so
time.
you can. I'm gonna type it in the comments so you can pin it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Cool, cool. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Can we buy some time? Right?
yeah. Can we buy some?
I don't sell nothing and I don't charge for nothing.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
That's
that.
what's up.
But I encourage everybody to please, please, please like. That doesn't cost you anything. Share. Invite your friends. Because we're definitely going in. The brother is definitely going in with his knowledge. So if you are feeling in the give. It is Christmas. You were gonna buy something for for whatever kid or
Okay.
for yourself or whatever. So in the case that you are feeling generous, the brother, like he says, he does everything for free. But donations are always appreciated. We love y'all. We thank y'all for your time, for everything that you guys do. So if you are interested in helping the brother out, please be sure to hit him up on his Cash App to show him some love. We also have the Cash App for the Empress herself, Salima Ellis. So make sure that if you like what the teacher is giving and providing, please, please, please show her some love. We also got Sister Denise Grant. We got her Cash App going as well. So if you like what she's doing, she's breaking it down. She's always ready for all the shows. She's my right hand woman. So I sometimes feel incomplete without her by my side. So it's always a good thing to have her here. And if you do want to, show some love for me, hit me up on Cash App as well. Money sign detached. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. But moving forward, we are going to go into the sacred secretion, and we appreciate everybody coming through. Salute to Taz, the chat, and the panel. Much love. Nature's music in the house. Peace and love. Glad to have you here. Greatly appreciate you. So attend one Maxwell said Rod lit. He be moving around. I've seen him on different channels. Gratitude. It's a good look. Yasini University is definitely family. We appreciate y'all. So make sure that you check us out on all our platforms. Check us out on all our platforms. And actually, I'm gonna give everybody like a 5 minute. It's about a 3 minute break. I'm gonna run this ads real quick about Yasini University. So everybody that is interested in joining us, there is perks if you do join the university. You have access to me. You have access to the empresses. Rod Hayes will be available. If anything comes up, and you have the